This is the new Google Pixel 7a. Is this a mid-range or flagship? Yes. Okay, let's talk about the definition of flagship. And people will provide you two different answers to it. Some would say it should have the best performance, or some would say it should be expensive. Either way, I would love to see the phone based from performance and not the price. So quickly, let's talk about the new things about the Pixel 7a. It has upgraded camera and 4K selfie, great performance, excellent camera system, nice 90Hz OLED display, great design and fun colors, wireless charging support, IP67 water and dust resistant, 3 OS upgrades and 5 years of security patches, and tons of helpful software smarts. And the cons of this phone is it has plastic back, it has 18 watts charging and 7.5 wireless charging, and there's a price hike of $100. And looking at the pros and cons, there's not much to hate on this phone. So let's dive into this review. Let's start with performance. Performance is one of the reasons why I would elevate this phone to a flagship level. The Pixel 7 packs the Google Tensor G2 with 8 gigs of RAM, the very same stack that powers flagship Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro. I mean, that alone is a great reason why you should buy Pixel 7a. I don't see why you need to buy a phone with a mediocre processor, the Snapdragon 700 series, Exynos 1380, or MediaTek Dimensity. This is actually a no-brainer. I've never felt Pixel 7a stutter in my test. This chip means you get access to many of the same G2 specific software features that was on the Pixel 7 series, such as low exposure in the camera app and photo unblur, which did effectively unblur faces. Games and high-performing apps will open in a breeze, and I played Mobile Legends so many times and I didn't feel any hiccups. I actually feel this could be a perfect phone for gamers who wanted to get a good camera quality. You can be a gamer and a photographer at the same time. Tensor G2 is in the middle of Snapdragon 888 and 8 Gen 1, and that's a flagship performing brain right there. And with its huge 8 gigs of RAM, this is a flagship performing phone in terms of horsepower. And talking about being a photographer, let's talk about the camera of the Pixel 7a. Last year's Pixel 6a was one of the best camera phone on its price category. I mean, it's a flagship camera phone killer. But it's more likely like a software upgrade because it's the same old sensor from the older Pixel phone, and Google is just inserting software magic using Tensor G1. Fortunately, the Pixel 7a gets a camera upgrade. It has 64 megapixel primary camera now, which is joined by the 13 megapixel ultra-wide and 13 megapixel front-facing camera. If you're wondering how the cheaper Pixel 7a can have more megapixel than the pricier Pixel 7, just know that more megapixel doesn't automatically gives you a better photo. The Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro camera sensors are larger. It can capture more details and light for brighter low-light images. The fancier handset still has the better camera. For me, the biggest upgrade here is the 4K selfie video recording that lacks on the previous model A series. And again, one of the best reasons for me to believe that this could compete as a flagship phone, although more affordable. This is the video recording of the new Pixel 7a 4K at 30 FPS. I will be doing a camera comparison video of this phone versus the previous Pixel 6a, so stay tuned. And this is the ultra-wide sensor, still 4K 30 FPS. I would also compare the Galaxy A34 and S21 Fan Edition, so stay tuned. This is, again, 4K 30 FPS. This is the wide view of the new Pixel 7a. We're also using the speech enhancement, using the selfie video recording, still in 4K. I think this is really good. It's really sharp. If you like to see more of Pixel 7a videos, don't forget to subscribe. We will compare the camera of this phone with Galaxy A54, the new Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro plus 5G, the older Pixel 6a, and maybe throw the iPhone 14 Pro, Pixel 7 Pro, and Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I'm also throwing the older Pixel series just in case someone wanted to upgrade to the newer Pixel 7a. Like a wise man would say, if ain't broke, don't fix it. The 6.1-inch OLED screen hasn't shown any weaknesses. It is the same size as last generation and feels like the same panel as last year with the selfie cutout in the dead center of the notification area. You still get deep blacks and colorful OLED colors that is bright enough for a sunny day. But the question is it as bright as the Samsung Galaxy A54? I don't think so, but I really had to squint to read the display. We also get an awesome 90Hz refresh rate, which means everything from playing games to scrolling Instagram feeds and YouTube shorts are more fluid, as the screen is outputting more frames per second than a traditional 60Hz screen. It's a nice perk, and I guess one of the mark that puts Pixel 7a to a flagship caliber phone. The Pixel 7a mimics the design of Pixel 7 and Pixel 6 series that came before. It's clean and unique, and it's easy to spot in a sea of iPhones and Samsung. Good if you want to feel different. It comes with charcoal black, sea baby blue, snow white, and coral orange pink, the latter of which is exclusive to Google Store. The phone's frame is made of recycled aluminum and the back is plastic, but it's also less to crack in case you drop the phone. The front is made of Gorilla Glass 3, a product which is several years old that gives a little bit of protection. Not as highly formulated as the new versions, but using an older Gorilla Glass is an easy way to bring down the price. Safe to say, even if the back can crack that easily, it's worth getting a case because it's still plastic and will accumulate scratches. I bought a case on my first day of use. This Pixel 7a is IP67 rated for water and dust resistant, so a drop in the pool won't destroy it. Alright, so far so good. Now let's talk about the software. Software remains the reason to buy Pixel phones. There are just so many usable and great Pixel-only Android features I use and genuinely miss when I test phones from other manufacturers. Take call screen as an example, which filters spam calls so you don't have to deal with them. In the days I've been testing the Pixel 7a, I had 0 spam calls, whereas I have some when I tested Galaxy A54 and even Xiaomi Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus until now. Talking about software support, Pixel 7 was actually close to what Galaxy A54 can offer, while Google matches Samsung on security updates by offering 5 years of software support but still only promising 3 OS upgrades. It's kinda weird, isn't it, that the company that manages Android can't deliver more than 3 major OS updates. In contrast, Apple routinely extends update to iPhones that are 6 years old. But overall, I can't complain since this phone offers 5 years of security patches and people normally change phones every 2 to 3 years. So this phone is perfect if you want to retain your phone and renew your new network contract and add new phone after 2 years. Battery life with 4,385 mAh is good. I feel like it's the same as what I have on the Pixel 6a. Right now, since I've been fully testing this phone and comparing it with other phones, I might have been using this phone heavily. The battery is a bit smaller than last year's Pixel 6a, but technically it should be better because it's running on the newer Tensor G2, but if you're using the 90Hz refresh rate, then I doubt it will. I'm planning to do a full battery test of Pixel 6a and Pixel 7a for you to see if there's any improvement on the battery life or the new features of this phone actually drains the battery faster. Also, Google is giving this mid-range phone a wireless charging. That's the highlight of the battery because there's not much of a difference between Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro versus Pixel 7a. So technically on this category, it should be a flagship phone. Unfortunately, this phone only offers 18 watts of fast charging and 7.5 watts of wireless charging. So even though it has the technology that makes the phone like a flagship, it still offers slower charging technology. But overall, we can't go wrong with this phone. I think I would live with a slower charging speed with decent battery life and have every single perks that Google have given this phone. So this is the unboxing and full review of the new Google Pixel 7a. It's hard to nitpick on this phone because if my only problem is the plastic back, then I would buy a case for this phone, which is 99% of us will do. Yes, it has a heftier price than last year, but I feel like all the upgrades are worth it. You're basically holding a mid-range phone that offers flagship performance. And aside from these cons, it has great performing camera, the newest Tensor G2, wireless charging support, 90Hz refresh rate, and 5 years of security support. I don't care. I honestly don't care what other reviewers will say, but for me, Google Pixel 7a is a flagship that is marketed as a mid-range phone. I'm not that picky. I'm just happy that Google made this. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll continue to compare this phone in our channel, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.